Good evening, grace and peace to um, my fellow classmates and to our Professor Nance. Um, Let me say, first of all, how encouraged I've been over the last couple of weeks. These weeks have been not only good weeks for academic enrichment, but also a spiritual awakening. I believe all of us um, have taken this opportunity to look back over our callings and are grateful that God would call us. I was encouraged by the words of Jeff.Iorg on page 54, where he reminds us that not everyone called will be called into prominence or be called to be a well-known leader. In fact, most ministry leaders serve in relative anonymity, known only to the people in their immediate circle of influence. And again, it's a reminder to us that even when the calling gets rough, who calls us governs that level of success. Many of us know the name of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, but don't know the name of Paul Snyder. Paul Snyder was influential in encouraging the call of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And so it's a reminder for us that even if we never get to that great plateau, to allow God to use us because we never know who we will impact. And so our discussion this week is around that same thought, that same idea. Uh, who we are impacting and who we are taking the time to um, minister to or mentor for. And so we're all called to be models, mentors, and motivators. And so, um, and we often think of the life of Paul and how Paul was such a great model and mentor to Timothy. Um, and so Jeff Iork says this, and this is on page 93. Too many Christians overlook the obvious mission field around them. And again, the obvious mission field around us is those that we impact. It says as this last paragraph, although your mission field may be around you, you still may need to create intentional strategies to share the gospel, and not only share the gospel, but share ministry tools and tips. And so, personally, for me, I've had the great opportunity to sit at the feet of some of our nation's greatest leaders. Dr. Tony Evans, even in my own city, um, Pastor Dr. Ralph Douglas West, Sr. Um, but my models, my mentors, and motivators, and again, Dr. West says, a model shows you how. A model shows you what to do. A mentor shows you how to do it, but a motivator encourages you to do what God has gifted you to do. And so, while I have several models and even a few mentors, I thank God for those that are around me that motivate me. So, um, who served in my life as all three: model, mentor, and motivator. Dr. Kenneth Campbell here in my city. Dr. Campbell's been such a great blessing to me of not only um, showing how to do it and then encouraging me to do it. He won't let me stop at anything less than my best because he sees some gifting in me, some calling in me that sometimes I don't see in myself. And so I thank God for his presence. And so to pay it forward, not only the young preachers that serve in ministry capacities in our church that are so very gifted, far beyond where I was at their age, but then even um, beyond that, young man some years ago, he was serving in a ministry capacity at the church of that was pastored by my god brother who is now sleeping in glory, and so he sent him my direction, and he came to me and asked me to be his mentor. And I was thinking lowly of myself then and didn't want this great responsibility. And I told him, I said, man, find somebody else who's more uh, who can serve better in that capacity. We can be study buddies. And so some years ago, we began to study together, and that relationship grew into being preaching partners He's very good with the illustrious material, so he would call me and share his outline, and we would talk about the scriptures in his presentation, and we would share illustrations and transitions back and forth. And then now it has progressed to him calling me his mentor. And again, if I can share anything with him that would help his journey be less arduous than my journey, I'll definitely do that. And so I think we're all called to do that, and we do it in different capacities. Some we do it in areas we don't even realize. If you are raising a child, you're doing it. If you're guiding someone who's younger on a job, you're doing it. And so I believe there is no success without a successor. Um, an old African proverb is, a wise man plants shade trees he'll never sit under. And so I think it's our job to make sure that although we are the Davids, that the Solomons behind us have everything that they need to progress and be all that God is calling them to be. So again, uh, this is a great reminder for us. These weeks have been outstanding, and I want to thank all of you classmates who are encouraging me in discussion posts, and even Professor Nance, who is so active and involved even in our discussion posts and beyond. I'm being so encouraged and enlightened over the last 2 weeks. And I know we only have 2 more weeks to go, but I don't want it to end. And so I'm praying for you all, sincerely praying for you all, that not only you find your calling from God and hear it clearly, but you would allow God to determine what is success. Then I'm praying that God would give you many physical years to accomplish what He's called you to be, and then ultimately that we can make this world so much better. So know that I'm praying for you daily, and thank you so much for the last 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to the next 2 weeks, and praying that connections can be created that would last a lifetime. So again, grace and peace, and I love you all.